This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning. Hope we are back on. Yeah, we are back to the schools after all the holidays. I'm sure holidays were a good time to reflect upon the relationships we have with people. Somewhere we did not like some people, somewhere we wanted to be with certain kind of people. Somewhere we want to heal something, but we don't know how. Somewhere we just shy away because I don't want to confront or deal with. All sorts, it's a mixed bag. And science gives us a beautiful solution of storytelling. I mean, generations over millennia have thrived on stories. When we say stories, it is not about the lion and the mouse, the fox and the grapes. Of course, there are stories too. But there are also stories that we tell ourselves. Now, if we take time out for reflecting, you will become aware of the stories that we tell ourselves. Think of a person. We have a story for them. They are this way, they've always been like this, they always do this, they're always helpful, they're always there when somebody needs them. Or whatever, we have set of descriptors, which is a story. I mean, technically, anything we talk, share, gossip is a story. We have heard enough times already that we got to be mindful of the words we speak. That's external to us. Speaking is external. What am I speaking to myself? Is what is more important. What I'm telling myself every minute, every second is my story that I have created, which I can rewrite. So if I have a story right now that is something I created based on some of my experiences, if that is a fact for you, then it's also safe to say that depending on what I want to create a month from now, I change the storyline today and keep telling the new story to myself. Which would be, rather than I want this person to change, I want this person to give me attention, or I want this person to do X, Y, Z, the reflection is more on me. What can I do to understand this person a bit more, to support this person a bit more, to partner with this person a bit more? What can I do? That's only in my control. So the storyline shifts, the outcome shifts, the pattern shifts to the way we want. My stories will not work for you. Your stories will not work for me. So we have to create our own stories. That's the first thing. The second thing also that Steiner gives us, the stories we tell have to be like a 4-week rhythm for children and a 4-day rhythm for adults. Something in 4-foldedness. We have touched upon the 4-foldedness a bit here and a bit there. Essentially, it is the 4 subtle and gross bodies that we have. The first one being the physical body, which is the grossest of the all. The physical body is made up of all the natural elements, minerals that are out there. And we have it in our local language. The minute I stop breathing, you stop calling me Shubha. You say, pick this body up. The body needs to be buried or cremated, whatever. So what makes a body from being identified as Shubha? There are subtle bodies that come into picture. Over this gross physical body is etheric body, which is also called as Pranamaya Kosha or the life body. So that is akin to the plant world. Physical body to the mineral world, like rocks and stones and mountains and whatnot, a structure. And then there is life body, very similar to that of plants. It has life, it grows, it nourishes itself in some way, but limited. Plants just stay put in one place. So they have their role. I identify with plants, I identify with minerals, I being a human being. Then the third subtle body is the astral body, the Manomaya Kosha, where the mind is super active. We go through polarities there, likes, dislikes, wants, needs, love, hate, day, night, all the polarities, the contrasts. We go through that every single minute. I like this breakfast, I don't like that breakfast. It's just that not don't like it, just I hate it. Extreme opposites. And not only that, we have our own stories, we have our perceptions, right? How come you don't like it? You are from Dharwad, you must be liking it. All those kind of stereotypical comments that you hear. And this astral body or Manomaya Kosha is much relatable with the animal world. Animals kind of fend for their families, they feed, they hunt, they bark, they make people know that they're around, they get hurt, they cry. They have all these emotions, they go through the polarities, just like we do as well. So we can relate to the animal world in relation to the astral body. However, we human beings are complex, evolved, capable of further evolution, capable of transforming and transcending the animal-like behavior. Many of us just remain happy. We are like animals. I work, I take care of my family, and I know there's enough to eat in my family, but someone else comes and we kind of back away. We don't want to share that. We are not super generous about giving stuff. We have enough in our purse, but we say, no, I don't have it. I can't give it. You have a lot of these calls coming from NGOs helping orphanages and whatnot. And I know I have done it. And I don't want to donate right now. The very next minute, I could be going and buying the dress that I really don't need, and I have money for it. So we are many a times just like animals. Only when we begin reflecting, we begin looking within, we begin changing our patterns, we begin changing our stories, we begin accepting people the way they are. We are compassionate. There are many, many such things, but we can just take one and work on it one at a time. Do we truly begin becoming the beings we are supposed to be? The human beings. The human beings have this ability to bring humility, to humanize the humanity. And all of us are in a profession where we have that power to motivate children by us being that, because children imitate us. So children can grow up and humanize the humanity. That's the ego body. Ego, not in the sense of the word ego that we know about. It's the higher ego, the conscious ego, where the ego can transform the astrality, the likes, dislikes, the polarities, the love, hate. I don't have to go overboard to love and please people. I do not have to be so determined to hate or put down somebody else. I can transform it. I have that ability, provided I'm aware, provided I change my story. I can use this ego, the higher ego, and the consciousness body to also change my etheric body, the plant world that I resonate with. A lot of things I need to learn. Plants, when you begin observing plants, you see a lot of rhythm, patterns, repeating over and over and over. And when I develop that rhythm in my family, in myself, my family comes next. I have a rhythm in my day. I have a pattern in my day. And I'm consistent about it day in and day out. Then I begin building habits. I begin having memories that become the intrinsic will to help me progress. So using my ego consciousness, I can develop a rhythm so my etheric body begins resonating with that rhythm to help me build habits and memories. And it's a little bit more difficult. It's easy to control my likes and dislikes, loves and hates a little bit, at least temporarily. I can say, no, this person is nice, so let me be just nice to her for 3 minutes. That's easier than setting up a rhythm. We have those experiences. We have this New Year resolution that I'll start going for for walk tomorrow, every single day for 30 minutes. We make these big commitments. We may do it for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, but then unless I have a very strong rhythmic system, it falls out. For majority of us, there are exceptions who go by the clock, who can kind of become rigid, but nevertheless, they're better than not having the rhythm at all. So managing the etheric body or refining and transforming the etheric body is harder than refining the astral body. And still further harder is to refine the physical body, having control over the physical urges. And our system, our culture has given us beautiful practices of fasting, in the name of festivals or culture or religion, whatever it is. Control over the intake of the food, the amount of the food, the kind of the food. We have seasonal foods. I mean, every festival that we celebrate, it was supposed to be certain kinds of food to be consumed because that was the harvest season or that was the seasonal food. But now that we import everything, we get everything every time, we really have lost any kind of a gratitude for anything. It's not even an instant gratification anymore. It is more like even before the child wants, it's already there. The whole gratification system is gone. It is like overabundance, over ease that is making children disrespectful. Anyway, that's a separate topic. But changing the physical body using my ego consciousness is much, much harder. Controlling my bowel movements, doing this pranayama and controlling my breath every single day, controlling my appetite, controlling my blood sugar, controlling so many things, and that happens at a physical level. It can be controlled. There are a lot of examples again of people who have done it, but it is hard. Having said that, now I think you're a little bit comfortable with this notion that I, as a human being, am made up of physical body. I also have etheric body, I have an astral body, and I have a ego body. These are all subtle bodies. There are much more. There are many more, more refined and more subtle the bodies are. But these are something that is within our reach to understand. And then our physical body can be compared with the mineral world. The etheric body can be compared with the plant world, the astral body compared with the animal world, and then we stand alone as human beings with this ego consciousness. That's kind of the midpoint. And beyond that are more subtle layers especially when we are practicing spirituality, we become more and more aware of those fields. But for now, I think this is enough. So when I tell a story to myself or to others, especially when we tell the story to children, I need to touch upon all of these four bodies for the story to have an impact, influence the child in the way that child can be aligned with the natural nature around, the natural forces around. Many a times we make a mistake of telling a story that I want you to learn this from that story. So there is a personal agenda there. So we need to become aware of that subtle agenda that I carry when I'm talking to somebody, when I'm telling any story to them. Let's say there is a gossip, why do I want to share that piece of information about this person to another person? Why is that need in me? When you begin questioning that, you will go into deeper layers of your subconscious. Do you want to feel accepted by that other person? Do you want to take revenge on the first person? Because she said something like that about me to somebody. Now is my opportunity to get even with her. Then we are in the animal world. We are behaving like animals. We are not really human beings there. All these gossips, just listen. Do not participate as much as possible. Listen and reflect. Don't blame the other person. Don't think, oh my God, look at that other person. Seems so mature, but talking about these things. Don't get into judgment. Don't get into labeling. Simply observe. And when you have that need to talk something about somebody, go deeper and figure out why is that need. And then you will understand how difficult it is to control that urge to share something negative about somebody to someone else. And that controlling is your progress. You may not be able to control it for a long time. It may just come out of just habit. But the fact that you're paying attention to it, earlier we were probably not even paying attention. We were jumping and waiting to see that other person so I can blabber all these things out. But now you're a little patient. That's progress. You're paying attention to it. That's progress. Don't jump to the highest level of accomplishments overnight. And don't expect the same with children. It takes time. But the more conscious we become of it, the more faster would be that observable change. So when we tell these stories, we have to tell it at all 4 levels. Hence, the need to tell the story for 4 weeks for children or 4 days to an adult. Or maybe yourself. Maybe you do it for 4 minutes. The reason for is first time when we tell the story, we tell it to address the need of the physical body. I know there is a lion, I know there is a mouse, and there is a tree, and there is a forest. There's a hunter, there is a net, the physicality of it. And children are not listening to your stories. They're distracted, like all of us. They're paying attention to the train passing by, they're paying attention to a friend who comes in late, or somebody who's drinking water, or whatever. So for children to understand every piece of this story in terms of physicality takes about 5 to 7 days. And you can experiment that for yourself. Watch a movie, watch a short clip. A movie would be too long. Maybe watch something for 5 minutes. Go back and watch it again. You will see that you had not heard this particular word being uttered, or this particular person wearing this kind of dress, whatever. We would not have gotten, because we don't have razor sharp focus and attention in all our senses. To be able to grasp it, I need to be alert in all senses. I don't have that. So I need to repeat. I watch it again next day and see what I missed. Watch it again next day. And I need to experience this to understand that others are going through the same thing. And once we tell the story for 5 to 7 days in the first week, the physical details of the story is absorbed by the child. And the second week, we repeat the exact same story. But now children are trying to understand the rhythm and the rhyme that is addressing the needs of the etheric body. What is repeating here? What is life? Why is lion breathing so heavily after the hunt? Why can a mouse run so fast and lion is just sitting over there? Why is the lion sitting under the tree? Why is the tree giving that shade? Those are the rhythms and patterns in nature around us. So we will have time to contemplate on etheric kind of questions when we repeat the story the second week. Still, we are not complete though, right? So we go into the third one. Why is the hunter greedy? Why does he want to catch a lion? What would he do with it? Would he sell it, get money? Would he kill it? We don't know. But these are the questions. Why did the lion want to help the mouse and mouse help the lion? Likes and dislikes, what we do, what we don't do, what we are afraid of and what we're courageous about. All these are polarities. That comes to the fourth. With the same story, earlier we were just thinking of a jungle, a lion, a mouse, a hunter, a gnat, and we are done. Then we go into the habits and rhythms. Lion lazes around all day and sleeps all night, hunts at night, whatever those rhythms are. Then we look at the polarities in the third week. We are not doing anything different to the story. It's the same story. It had all of these built into the story right on day one. But only when I can digest the first level can I take the next bite for the second level and the third bite again. And in the fourth week is where the ego consciousness comes into picture. Can I be like a lion? When should I be like a lion? When should I be like a mouse? Is being lion good or the mouse good? How can I be different? How can I be helpful like the mouse or the lion? When do I have to catch something like the hunter? All these lessons that we kind of accumulated in the first 3 weeks, I'm applying to myself now and trying to be this evolved person to whatever extent. Children have their own way. We don't know how each child will interpret, and every child will interpret in a different way, and that's perfectly fine. My job as a teacher, as a parent, is to just give the story and do it for a long time. Long enough time where the story actually brings the shift within. And you will see the shift within yourself. And when you know that you have shifted, somewhere you have the trust that if it is done enough times, it will also shift others. That is what keeps us going. Else, we are in a rush to finish the syllabus. You can try this. You go to at least 4 or 5 different classes every single day. First 3-4 minutes, just tell the story from beginning to end, every single day, and notice the shift in the children. This has to be done very consistently. Else we miss the beat and we forget, and then we come back and again go back into the physical level. Then we don't tell the story, we tell another story, then we come back again and go back to the physical. So we never move past, we go to the physicality of it. We don't see the rhythms and repetitive patterns that build the habits in us. And we skip to the animal like because astrality is easy to be seen. And we just stop the story there. And we never really evolve. But when you do tell this consistently, every single day, you definitely go to the same class every single day. You get 5 days in a week with them. You can take away the first 3 to 5 minutes, tell the same story, And you can see the shift by the 5th week. Just to make sure that you or to have like a proof, you can do every Friday. After telling the story, give them a simple activity. If the children are able to write and express, or even a picture they will draw, and take it every Friday. So you'll have 4 evidences to study for yourself as to which children have shifted, which children are still stuck. Maybe the one who was like a rock before has become a plant like now. So that is a shift. We don't expect everybody to be highly evolved and highly ego conscious suddenly in 4 weeks. But then if there is a shift to move from mineral world to plant to astral world, astral to ego world, finally, there is a progress. And same thing applies when you're working with adults, your family members, your grown-up children, where they don't want to hear the lion and the mouse story every single day. There's no story time set up, unlike the children in the class. They're whether they listen or not, they're sitting in your class with you. You could repeat or share the same story at some set time for 4 days. And some incident that happened, you can make up your own story. And everything that happens has 4-foldedness to it. Provided we develop that inner eye, inner vision to see it. All of us mostly look only with our physical eye, only with the physical stuff. We do not go one level deeper where we can see the intention, where we can feel the emotion. And somewhere we are putting all this time and effort, we must develop that. With that, I close for today.